we go. We've got the Ruger Mark IV pistol with the Mark II Volquartsen Kit installed. Been out here for about an hour. I've put about 300 rounds through it already, flawlessly. Even shooting federal bulk ammo, 0 failures. I've got 6 magazines lined up, loaded up, ready to go. I'll do 6 consecutive mag dumps on this. It should prove the reliability of the trigger. Here we go. There you have it. Okay, so here's my follow-up video of my Ruger Mark IV with Volquartsen Mark II kit installed. Again, just to refresh you guys, that kit included the Volquartsen trigger, the trigger bar disconnector, hammer, sear, and the hammer bushing. The magazine disconnect's been completely removed. There's no more magazine disconnect in this firearm. So, you just saw the video at the range. The gun performed well. No problems with the kit, with the Mark II kit. A beautiful, beautiful, very smooth, short, crisp trigger. Nice positive reset on it. Overall, the gun, it's a Ruger Mark. It's no different than the Mark II, the Mark III, other than that little button right there. Accuracy wise, I haven't had a chance to put it on paper and put it on a rest, but I have no doubts that the accuracy is going to be that of the Mark II and III, 2245. I put about somewhere between 300 and 400 rounds through it today. Mostly federal bulk. Put a pretty good hurting on that box there. It's about 3/4 gone. I put about 100 rounds of CCI standard velocity down it, 40 grain standard velocity, and about 70 rounds of CCI Blazer. So standard velocity, high velocity, everything functioned fine. In my previous video, I mentioned a possible concern over the play, the lateral play here on the trigger. Not an issue. No concerns for having to put a washer or shim or anything in there. The gun performed flawlessly. Amazingly, even with the federal bulk, 0 failures. Not even a failure to feed, failure to eject. Nothing. Flawless, which is great, especially with the federal bulk. Usually you have 1 in 20 or 30 failures to detonate with it, and I had no problems. So on some forums, and I'm not sure on Facebook or not, I've had some other concerns about the mod I did. Just to recap, 100% of the factory OEM Ruger parts are still here in this bag. I'll tuck that away in case I need to send this gun in for service. The only modification that I had to do was to the front edge of the Volquartsen trigger. I do have a tandem cross trigger. This is my 2245 light, my speed gun. I shoot suppressed. This gun, looking at it, might be a better option. I haven't taken the trigger out, but it looks a little bit more rounded on the front of the trigger. So if you like the flat trigger, which I will put a flat trigger in here because I feel more comfortable with them. I'm moving all my Mark series pistols to the flat tandem cross trigger. I wish Volquartsen would put one out, but they don't, so excuse me. I'll be using the tandem crosses. But as far as the gun overall, function wise, like I said, it's a Mark series pistol. It's heavy, it shoots great, feels great in the hand. I will be replacing the grips. I love these Hogue grip series. Target grips is what I generally use. Quality wise, I have one issue. Now this gun I purchased on Friday. It's now Tuesday. First time at the range today. Even prior to that, I'm going to zoom in here so you can see. Let the camera focus here. There's some speckling on that barrel already, and it was like that. I took it out of the bag, and it was pretty heavy with oil. No solvents or anything. I just simply used a cotton towel, wiped some of the heavy oil off, and in the matter of sitting maybe 24 hours, I began to show some speckling of some rust there. There, you can see it a little bit better. That's not gunpowder residue. That is rust starting to form. So that being said, if you've got the non-stainless steel version, keep your guns well lubed. They will be rusting. I'm not sure what they used, if this is an oxide or parkerized or blued, but it's a pretty poor finish as far as rust inhibiting goes. Back here on the bolt of the receiver, seems a little bit cleaner. I'm not seeing the issues. Probably two different types of steel used. The barrel's probably a softer, mild steel, whereas the receiver's going to be a harder steel. But like I said, function wise, the gun performed flawlessly. No problems. I'll be getting the Volquartsen extractor in there real soon. Other than that, guys, if you want to have a clean, crisp trigger on your Mark IVs and you don't want to wait for Volquartsen to come out with their Mark IV Accurizing kit, get yourself a Mark II, drop it in, no problems whatsoever. One last thing I wanted to talk about was with regards to the Volquartsen kit that is in the works. Most people I know, matter of fact, everybody I know that has Mark III pistols and has gone to the Volquartsen kits have gone to the Mark II kit, simply to remove that magazine disconnect. So you're not always having to take the magazine in and out to break it down. If you want to dry fire it, if you want to clean the trigger, it's a pain. It's also more moving parts that can fail inside there and build up friction. I have to believe that the Volquartsen Mark IV kit that will come out is going to have the same style trigger, sear, and magazine disconnector as the original Mark IV. So if you're wanting to get rid of the magazine disconnect, this may be your only option. I could be wrong. Volquartsen may put out a dual kit, one with and one without the magazine disconnect, but I highly doubt it. If that were the case, they would have done that for the Mark III. There's probably a liability issue there with selling a disconnector-less kit for a firearm that was designed with one. So I get my stuff from Rimfire Sport and Customs. They've got the best prices. I think the Mark II kits is right around $100. It does include a couple things you won't need, like the bolt release and some springs and stuff like that. But if you got any questions, feel free to post comments. I'm on a couple forums also. I'm on the Mark series, what is it, on Facebook, the Mark I, Mark II, Mark III, Mark IV forum or group, and on Rimfire Central. Take a look at the videos, post your comments, and I hope you guys all enjoyed.